Hi, it's Marita with A Harmonic Wholeness, author of Living with Grace. And today we're going to talk with Kristen Scanlon from Talk Positive. And Kristen and I worked together very closely with Grace as she was very, very ill. And I thought it would be really kind of fun and interesting to hear her perspective on the whole process of what it was like for her as an animal communicator to not only witness the process between Grace and I, but also what it was like for her as an animal communicator needing to say some pretty hard things. So I'd like to welcome Kristen.
Thank
Hi.
you.
You're welcome. And is there anything top of mind that comes to you when you think about that whole process, which was really only about 3 weeks, right? I mean, it was a very short amount of time. They gave her 3 to 4 weeks to live, and she was gone in 2.5. So she didn't even make it to that 3. So it was a very intense time. And I'm curious, if you were to talk about one thing, what would that be?
I would say you're right. It's really hard to give information that the human, I know that the human doesn't want to hear, but they need to hear.
Right.
And yet at the same time, I have learned, see, I'm getting teary just talking about it, because she's like, it's okay, right? So she just automatically pops in amongst other animals I've worked with. But sometimes it's exactly what the human needs to hear for them to let go, for them to do the next step, whether it's holding on when you want to let go, or it's letting go when you want to hold on.
Yeah.
And we always think of that process as having to let go. But sometimes the animal needs us to hang on just a little bit longer for them to do their part on this life, in their life.
And that was us. That was Grace and I. Whereas
very much so. Because you were ready, I wouldn't say you were ready, but you had talked about, maybe I should just put her down. She has this diagnosis. I don't want her to suffer. And I'm like, she doesn't want to go yet.
She wasn't ready. And I remember that, I don't remember why, but I do remember driving through a blizzard.
Yes, I do. I remember that.
Clinic. Every time she had to go to a doctor, it was literally a blizzard. and it wasn't her doctor, right? And because she was fully booked. And so I had to go to a different clinic, a different doctor who didn't have the perspective that Angela did. And he intimated, he didn't come right out and say it. He wasn't crass, but he intimated that we could put her down right now. And I don't remember how he said it, but it was very gentle. And I just said, well, she's not ready. And I kind of felt like he probably thought I was crazy. What do you mean she's not ready? Because she's clearly dying.
Right.
But it would have been the easy thing for me to do. But so I chose the difficult thing.
Right. Well, and I think too, what a lot of veterinarians, not all, because we have people like Angela, and I have a vet that I work with very closely, and she's phenomenal and she gets it. Right. But they're on that clinical side. Well, she's dying. Well, dying is active. She's not dead.
Yes.
So if we could switch some of that perspective of humans are dying, it's an active process.
Yes.
We have to let that process take place. If she was ready, she'd be dead.
That is so simple that it's profound.
Right.
It seriously is so simple that it's profound.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of animal. And I didn't think about that either until I had animals and I opened myself to animal communication. Because losing an animal it's so heart-wrenchingly difficult.
Yeah.
On everybody. I mean, on them too.
Yeah.
And the animal friends around them and their family and the humans and everything. So but as a human, it's so hard for a human to watch suffering.
It is. We
We,
are
we
not
have,
wired. We are wired for compassion.
we're wired to fix.
True. Yes. How can we make it better? How can I take
And
away the pain? Yeah.
right, we are wired to try to take that away from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of empaths deal with, is feeling that pain. Well, they don't want to feel it. And they
Mm-hmm.
have a hard time being witness and just being present for that person or that animal while they're going through their own process. We want to fix it. We want to make it better. We want to take it away. So that's why we do euthanization or whatever the case may be. And I read an article, I wish I could remember the article, but it's just talking about being present.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was diagnosed with cancer. And of course, he had peace with dying.
But we
And was
didn't.
planning his funeral,
Yeah.
and his friends were all calling, you can call this person and do these herbs, and you can call that, you do this and do that, And the person who wrote the article said, I thought to myself, am I being present with him if I'm giving him advice?
Great
And so
question.
when his friend said, I'm ready to die, I'm okay with this, he goes, well, how does that make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going, well, what do you need from me? Because it's not about us, it's about the person or animal going through the process.
Right.
And that's how he learned to be present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Profound.
Yeah.
So switching over to the book now,
Yeah.
what comes to mind from it's actually our words from the words that Grace and I put together in that book. What
Yep.
comes to mind first and foremost for you?
The entire book still has the energy about Grace was always getting you to think
Mm.
and to think more, to think outside of you,
Mm-hmm.
to go, what is this really about? Where can I give myself more grace? Where can I give this person more grace? Where am I not moving forward? Where am I stuck? And the thing that really hit me is that you left that space at the end of every chapter.
Mm.
There were questions,
Mm-hmm.
and including after I every chapter, everything that you wrote, after everything should have questions after it,
Mm-hmm.
because that's her.
Mm-hmm.
um Sorry, I'm hearing my cat. So so that's her. In that book, that is her. She
Mm-hmm.
wants you to think. She wants you to go deeper. She wants you to dig deeper, because that's where you find your grace.
That's so profound. Again, the profundity.
Her. I mean, that is just her.
Exactly. Yeah. She's really something. She's
Yeah.
wow. Wow, what
She's
a
just so
blessing.
wise. And so, as an animal communicator, it's really hard to explain what I get, because I see, but I don't see like seeing a picture in front of me. But I see like in my mind's eye, or she'll give me pictures or thoughts, and I always see her like, how you see an angel sitting on your shoulder. She's
Yes.
kind of like that, right? And and she's just this little professor kind of. She's such a teacher, but not in a teachery way of do this, do that, do this. It's very open your heart and learn.
Right. Right. That's very cool, Kristen.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the book that you would like to share with our viewers as to, why they might want to pick up a copy? Why would they want to explore this book that is so unique?
Why wouldn't you?
I could have said that. Of course,
You know what?
we
If
wrote
you
it. Why wouldn't
ever,
we want it?
there are self-help books all the way around about everything, right? And this is not advertised as a self-help book, but this is a book that's going to get you to the deeper core of who you are in your heart. If you have any blocks, if you have anything that you're struggling with, this living with grace. Who doesn't want that? Who
Mhm.
doesn't want, it's hard. Okay, let me say this. It's hard to give ourselves grace.
Mhm. It is.
It is hard to accept ourselves for who we are and in this perfect moment, and we are perfect exactly who we are, as we are. And when someone says, "What's wrong with you?" which is a common phrase, right? We hear that
Mhm.
with kids. "What's wrong with you? Why can't you get that?" And I usually turn around and I say, "There's nothing wrong with me.
Good for you.
This is a teaching moment.
Mhm.
So quit telling me there's something wrong, because there's nothing wrong." But
Mhm.
that has taken years and years and years. And it wasn't until working with the animals in animal communication that I learned that grace, because animals give us that grace.
Yeah.
So working in this book, you're working with the energy of an animal. You're working with the energy of a cat, who most people think are arrogant and stuck up and independent and everything. But what if they are independent because they can't trust,
Mm.
as she talks about?
Mhm.
She talks about that trusting process.
Mhm.
And where in our human world do we not trust? I don't know, everywhere.
Yeah.
So looking at our lives, how do we parallel? This book shows you and teaches about, we're not that different. We're not different at all, other than humans have skin, and while they have skin too, we have hair in different places. We
Mhm.
speak a different language.
Mhm.
They walk on four paws, we walk on two.
Yeah. Yep.
They've got nails, we got nails. They
Right.
got teeth, we got teeth.
Yep. Fascinating. Well, and the last thing I'll ask, as long as Grace has popped in, I'm sure she's still here.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything that she would like to say, given now that she's got an audience and a space to say something? What might she say?
She's like, I've been saying it.
Say it again. Do it for me. Just humor me.
Well,
Us.
I mean, even a lot of what I've just said came through her. That's,
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing with communication too, is once there's an animal there, it's a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, that makes, yeah, exactly. And so
Okay.
I can sound really wise and profound when it's really like,
Oh, so you're saying that everything you just said was Grace.
not everything. I'm not going to
Okay.
let you know what was and what wasn't. Um, she really, when you said why would you pick up, why pick up the book, and she just like, why wouldn't you? It's, do you want to learn more about yourself or not? And it's not
Mhm.
even about want, it's what's your desire about your life. If you're someone that wants to go deeper, this is the book for you,
Mhm.
because you can either take it, the questions that are asked in this book of you, you can flip on through and you don't have to answer a single one.
Mhm.
You're still going to read the whole book.
Mhm.
You don't have to answer the questions in order to get to the next page.
Exactly.
Or you can answer the book, or you can answer the questions and you can answer them at a surface level. But the thing about these questions is they start rolling around in your mind
Yes.
and they get stuck.
Yeah. The ones that really need to be looked at, like you said, they come top of mind, and then they're there. And
Yeah.
that inquiry happens consciously or unconsciously, right?
Right, right. You may read the question and not think about it for a week, and then all of a sudden that pops in, and you're going for a walk or you're driving in traffic, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, that's a really great question. That makes total sense to ask that,
Mhm.
because that's how she works.
Mhm. Cool.
Grace is not about getting it right in this moment, in this instance. Grace is about giving you the space and the time to come to it at your own time
Mhm.
and meet you in that place of where you are. And
Yeah.
that's what this book does. It meets you at every level. I helped with the book, and I helped, I was Grace's voice for a good chunk of it. It's woven. If you want
Throughout.
a tapestry, it's woven throughout.
Yeah.
And there are times I'm reading it and I'm like, did we really talk about that? Why, yes, yes, we did. And I remember sitting in the bench at St. Kate's and talking about some of these things in the book, and I'm like, gosh, she was so smart. She's so smart.
Mhm.
And yeah, wow, just wow. Go get the book because of wow.
If you want to be wowed,
Yeah, by the
links will be,
wisdom.
I'll put links below. But in all seriousness, Kristen, thank you for
Yeah.
agreeing to do this short video to talk about your experience with Grace and let people hear about what it was like,
Mm.
and to have them get a taste of what she's like, because
Yeah.
she's got a great sense of humor, but then
Yeah.
she has this profound wisdom. And
In a
I'm
very simple sentence.
yeah, and I'm pleased to have worked with you, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the future, because we're going to create some fun things that we're not going to share right now, but we're working on some fun things with Grace.
It's
But
exciting.
it is very exciting because Grace has got a mind of her own and a trajectory of her own. And but
Hmm.
just like the headlights in the dark when you're driving, we can only see that far ahead. So
Right, right.
one step at a time. But at any rate, I will post a link to her website where you can buy the book or at least learn about it. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.